Hey, how's it going? Shereen Thor here, founder of AwakenTheRebel.com, and I recently received an email from a random new rebel of mine who said I need to be doing more video. And so, ta-da! You ask and honey, you shall receive, all right? So here goes. I have been in a really interesting new phase lately. A lot of percolating, a lot of decluttering, a lot of reassessing and reevaluating. So maybe like 5 months ago, my family and I moved out of our super cool Venice Beach apartment and into a Santa Monica house that's got a little more space for our kiddo, more private, less wild vagabonds on the boardwalk. And it's really interesting, that move sort of set me in motion for a phase of reassessment and decluttering. And so that's what this video will be about for you. I think oftentimes we get really caught up in ambition. There's a lot of noise on the internet, on social media. There's a trillion different experts in a trillion different industries to show us how to do this, that, and the other so we can make our millions and live our internet freedom lifestyle and have our perfect relationship and blah, blah, blah. Have the perfect six-pack. Yeah, who doesn't want that? All right, so there's a bunch of different things we can be going after. There's all kinds of information telling us how to go after it. But I think oftentimes we miss the mark in being so busy wanting something, chasing something, going after something, that we aren't actually tuning into what we want. And so, as you know, Awaken the Rebel, I help people really navigate their path and create a lifestyle by their own design. You cannot create your own design unless you figure out what the heck you want. And so sometimes people don't do that. And so that's what I love to help people do, is figure out, what exactly do you want? Like, if you were this crazy rebel rebelling into the direction of your dreams, what direction would that actually be? If it wasn't what so-and-so said you should do, or, oh, that looks really good what they're doing, or whatever, if it was actually who I am and what my soul is called to, then what would it be? So today I took a little time for myself, and I literally got this big fat dry erase board, and I wrote on the dry erase board a picture. Because here's the thing, like, you have your conscious mind and you have your unconscious mind. Your conscious mind is like, you're all in your head and you're thinking about things and you're rationalizing, and don't use that to direct your life, okay? Like, let's go with the brilliant genius that is the unconscious mind, who's like more spirit and emotion and in tune with your actual soul, as opposed to what we think we should be doing. I know a lot of people have read Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth. I read that and I was like really geeking out on it. He talks a lot about the ego versus the spirit. It's a different way to look at it, but the ego would be the one who wants the Lamborghini and wants to look or keep up with the Joneses and look good. And the spirit would be like the actual truth of you. Like, what's the truth for me? What do I actually want? So right now, I'm trying to help you tap into your spirit, baby. So I took a dry erase board. Feel free to jot down on a blank piece of paper, on a dry erase board, whatever works for you. What am I meant to create this year? For me, I like to do it by year. It helps me not be so outward focused into like 5-10 year plans. It helps me to just be like, what's in the now? What's happening right now? It's just like, a few months out. So what am I meant to create this year? And the reason I used those specific words are because at first I was going to say, what do I want? But the truth is, I want everything. Like, I get so excited about everything. Like, I want to speak on every stage. I want to write every book. I want, right? And oftentimes we see other people doing things, and it gets us thinking, maybe I should be doing that, and maybe this. So sometimes want is not the right word to inspire the truth for you. What am I meant? Like, what am I meant? What is the greater genius, brilliant part of my soul know that I am meant to do this year? And so what am I meant to create this year? So another word I specifically used was create. Oftentimes it's a very doing energy in our culture. Like, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to make this happen, we got to push, you got to go. And it just is freaking exhausting. And so create felt like the right word to use. That inspires, like, it inspires. That's it. It inspires, as opposed to pushing or forcing or making something happen that you think you want. It's, what am I meant to create this year? What would flow out of me naturally and beautifully, because it's actually the truth for what's supposed to happen for me this year. All right, so go ahead and get your blank piece of paper or your blank dry erase board. Mine's right behind me. You can kind of see some like chicken scratch going on there. What am I meant to create this year? Ask yourself that, and then be quiet. Shh. quiet. Because then you'll actually, for a second, hear what comes for you. I've had a lot of thoughts lately about all the things I want to accomplish and the ambition. And honestly, I really struggle with not being too ambitious. When I got married and became a mom, all of a sudden I was like, oh, it's not just about me and what I want to accomplish in my life and all this ambition and success I have or want to achieve. It's about a family and lifestyle and my baby and what kind of a relationship do I want to have with her? What kind of relationship do I want to have with my husband? Do I want to be the successful person who down the line gets a divorce because she was so obsessed with ambition that she didn't take time to prioritize her family? Or do I want to be the person who prioritizes her family and goes after my ambition in a way that is cohesive with my lifestyle design? Prior to me going after this work from home, super cool business empire rebel world, all I ever wanted was to have a work from home business and run a super cool empire and contribute and live out my purpose so that I could be a good mom. I was raised by a single mother. They had a very tumultuous marriage, divorced when I was 1. Mama was working full time. She had 2 babies at home. So I didn't end up having the type of interaction or connection with my mom that I probably would have preferred. And as a result of that, I was like, I really want to have that with my kiddo. Like, my mom did great. She's amazing. All good. No harm, no foul. But it really sort of planted the seed for me to go, yeah, that's something I want. If I'm about lifestyle design and if I'm about creating the life that I want and sort of honoring my mom, going through all the pain and suffering she went through for me, then yeah, I think that's one thing that's going to be a priority to me. So if that's what I wanted before I created this whole thing, why would I then let my ambition get in the way of that? It makes no sense. It's like saying like, hey, I want to make $1 million, but now that I have $1 million, I'm totally missing the mark. Do you see what I'm saying? So here we go, kiddos. What am I meant to create this year? And then you be silent. And then what comes out for you is what comes out for you. For me, the first thing was a beautiful home. Now that we've gotten here, I'm like, all right, let's make this baby really feel like home. Let's actually declutter what doesn't work for us anymore and really settle into where I am right now. And I have a fun suggestion for you. There is a book I've been reading, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying. What a geek! I know, I'm ridiculous. But I have an amazing friend who's a great resource. She's always into like super cool new books and tells me about these kinds of things. And this one is great because not only did I do the physical move from Venice to Santa Monica, and so literally there's just a need for, you know, sort of rearranging and decluttering and organizing and placing things in your new home and blah, blah. But I sort of did the same thing in my business life. I did the same thing in my personal life. There's been a lot of sort of restructuring and reassessing that's been going on. And this book has been support in that process. And one of the things that they say, or that the book says, not they, but the book, is that when you are decluttering or sort of deciding what to choose when you're discarding things, instead of looking at everything you don't want, you actually just look at what you do want. You look at what you do want and you go, and the qualifier for choosing what you want is, does this spark joy? So genius! Like, I know she's just talking about stuff, but I'm a life coach, so I'm not talking about stuff. I'm talking about your life. Does it spark joy? So forget all the stuff you don't want. Look at the things you really want to keep in your life and let the qualifier for what you want to keep in your life be, does it spark joy? So when you really think about what am I meant to create this year, allow the sparking joy pre-qualifier to also be a factor in that. So a few other things for me were financial freedom, were health, were a book, and that's it. So like, honestly, that's hard for me to be quiet and focus on what came up for me to create this year, because I want to do everything. Like, I want like 25 clients right this second, and I want to speak on these stages right this second. And so I need these kinds of exercises to like reel it in and focus, because as we all know, when you have too many things that you want to create, you do a little bit of everything and nothing extraordinary ever gets done. And so this is my effort to support you in not only prioritizing what it is that you want, but making sure that you can focus and actually accomplish the things that you want, because that's the difference between someone who is very successful and fulfilled and happy in their life versus someone who is not, is that they say they want something, then they actually create it. They actually make it happen. They actually do it. They actually go for it. And so That's pretty much it. This is a really long video. I normally try to keep stuff like a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes because I'm just as ADD as the next person, but I just felt like this was an important topic. I wanted to just level with you about like what's happening in my life and what process I've been going through to hope that it supports you in some way. And so feel free to email me at Shereen@awakentherebel.com. Let me know how this helps you, how it doesn't help you, if it's supportive, and whatever comes up for you. I would love to hear it. All right. And if you haven't seen me and this is your first time, visit me at awakentherebel.com, put in your name and email so we can stay connected, and I'll give you tons more geeky videos just like this one. All right, see you next time.